Who loves a little live action as we prepare for what will be a very exciting night of ACC tournament games? We also have 14-team playoff to talk about for 2026. How could that favor the ACC? We're going to find out all here on today's episode of Locked On ACC.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Each and every day, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you download, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can interact with our community each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Listen, I know that it is time to get in on some betting action. We know that you're making it right, especially those North Carolina friends. Make every moment more. New customers join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Kenton is here today. We're talking some football. We're talking some basketball. I know he is feeling himself, feeling high with it because the Pack are cardiacking, and they're going to get us to the victories. Feels bid stealing. You was talking jump, but now look at your boys.
First ever team to go from Tuesday up through Friday. Joe Giglio always jokes about he and Joe Ovius, Joe Giglio and Joe Ovies always joke about the fact that, the law of the wolf states when you expect the least from NC State, that's when you get the most. And when you expect the most is when you get the least. All of us came into this tournament like, is Louisville going to put us out of our misery? And 3 days later, we've got to win against the top 10 team.
Come on.
We got to win against a team that beat us twice badly during the regular season. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how this has happened. But to quote Kanye West, we don't want no devils in here tonight. We want the Lord, and that's it, okay? Because that's what has happened. The Blue Devils put out a very disappointing performance in which NC State was able to take advantage and advance 74-69 last night, which was surprise. It was a shocker to say the least, especially considering Duke were 11-point favorites or 10.5-point favorites, I believe.
And we will get to that because I want everyone to keep listening to the show and hearing our takes on that. It's a little meat on the bone, just to wet your whistle. We had to get that intro in. But football is the king of the castle around here, and we would be remiss if we did not let you guys know 2026 14-team playoff is on the way because Notre Dame and the Power 5 conferences, they voted yes. Has it been implemented yet? All things go? Not quite sure, but it's on the way. All I'm saying is ACC not only gets their champion in, but they could find themselves having 2 to 3 more that you make an argument for. But that's just because everyone loves the ACC. And, of course, we're so well-respected in national media, and there's no way how that, 6 to 8 SEC teams get in, right?
How, under God's green earth, did we jump to a 14-team playoff before we even did the 12? That's
Why did we go from 4 to 12 to 14? It's just, it's giving participation trophy. I don't know.
I wanted 12 to get every conference champion a shot and 2 at-large bids. That's what I ideally wanted. And, of course, group of 5 conferences that saw their RPI be too low or their ranking be too low, I would have loved to see them replaced with a at-large bid. But somehow we got 12, and that's not how it shook out. Sure, whatever, fine. How do we get to 14 without exploring 12 first? We haven't even played with the 12. We haven't even. This is like your partner comes home and says, "Hey, I want to redesign. I want to do some remodeling. I want to fix up the kitchen. I want to put a big farm sink in here. That's what I want. I want to
come on, farm sink. Who you want to watch HGTV? You better let them know."
And then next thing you know, they're like, "Actually, no. I want 2 farm sinks and an island in the middle of the kitchen." Just like, we didn't even get the first farm sink in. Can we stop? Can we see the synergy? Can we get the flow of the first thing before we go adding in more stuff? What?
So you just don't like extreme change?
I don't like the change that was implemented before we even tried the other change. We didn't even try it.
But we're feeling like it's going to work. It's going to be a blast.
I'm going to just tell you this, okay? I'm going to just tell you this. If 12 is a stunning success or a stunning failure, or actually, let me say this, 12 won't even get a chance to be a stunning success or a stunning failure because that run will be so short-lived. It's literally going to be 2 years, boom, gone. Doesn't matter what it goes, doesn't matter how it goes, doesn't matter if we get the most entertaining playoffs we've ever seen, doesn't matter if we get the least entertaining playoffs we've ever seen. 2 years, that's it. Format changes. And I'm really, I get it. I know that you want to be forward thinking. I get that you want to do all these things. You have to realize you are football. The CFP needs to realize you are football. People will watch. It doesn't matter what's going on. One of the highest viewed bowl games last year, outside of the playoff, the highest viewed bowl game was the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I mean, you're watching off the strength of hoping that you get to see a real Pop-Tart or someone gets poured with Pop-Tarts on them. Like, I get it. It's the vibes.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
People go watch. If there are young men with helmets on giving each other long-lasting injuries, guess what people are going to do? I'm tuned in. I'm locked in. I'm strapped in, baby.
Long-lasting injuries is crazy. I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm so glad it ended there. But I will say, after doing the quick 2-year data, I'm happy to report that it's just exciting to see football just get more and more money, TV deals, and less of wanting the kids to have any of it. So all in all, I just think that truly we should continue to let's just get 64 teams in at this point. Let's do a little March Madness vibe for college football playoff. Because I guess what is the end goal, right? How do you decide who is the top team, who deserves, who doesn't deserve? And it's going to be more of the same. It's just adding a couple more players in the mix.
Football and basketball are so drastically different that if you try to run a football schedule that was even close to similar to basketball, by the Sweet 16, you'd have a very, very interesting situation on your hands.
And not to cut you off, sorry, but I also think when you talk about the 14 teams, right, we're still in an era where a lot of these kids are opting out. So despite the fact that you could, have that chance to play for a championship, some people are saying, I'm all set. So I wonder if that will sway them or if they will still be engaged or try and protect their bodies more because of what they're looking for towards their future.
You can't opt out of a playoff game. That, opting out of a bowl game where it's this is a meaningless exhibition where your team gets a trophy of peaches if you win. Congratulations. That is very different from my team was in position to win a championship. My team was on the precipice of winning a championship, and I decided that my draft stock and my body were more valuable than my team. That will create a very different feel than I opted out of the game because, you talk about, for example, Florida State and their opt-outs last year, right? Let's say that all of those guys come back and everything goes perfectly for them. And that game against Georgia, not only is it competitive, but they win that ball game outright. Okay, let's say they whoop the wheels off Georgia, 28-3. Okay, great. What did Florida State just get out of that 28-3 win? Right,
not much. Money for the school, money for the conference, though, and school.
But do the players get a ring to where they say only the fraternity of players who have this, only one every year. Right. Only one every year gets this one. And not only is it one every year, everybody else would trade their thing in for this. Everybody, you would trade in a Sun Bowl ring for a natty. You trade in a Pop-Tart Bowl ring for a natty. You trade in a Quick Lane Bowl ring for a natty. So, it's just that situation of, I think that would be viewed very differently by talent evaluators and all that, because we've seen how talent evaluation and personality profiles, and I hate to talk about it in this way, but how people talk about Caleb Williams, right? We see he's not done anything wrong here. He's not done anything, but the things that people talk about as a slight against him, imagine, if you will, somebody says, you know what? I can't be a part of a national championship run potentially because my stock is too valuable. NFL teams wouldn't go for that.
So a 14-team playoff hopefully eliminates the major key guys of opting out. And maybe that's what these people want all along. But more than that, you want high-quality games, which we haven't necessarily seen in these most recent bowl experiences.
Well, yeah, and I think that – and this is the interesting thing about it. A 14-team playoff really doesn't stop those opt-outs or reduce it in a meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at, we just talked about Caleb Williams. He still wouldn't have made it. Let's bring it to the ACC. Who do you believe is going to be the highest drafted player in the ACC?
Drake May.
Drake May. Was his team in the top 14?
They were.
So he still would have opted out. So you're not really taking down the volume of opt-outs all that much by expanding to 14. Now, the absolutely insane, and I stand by this idea is insane, even if we actually do get there. The absolutely insane idea of expanding to 64, you would potentially see those opt-outs get drastically taken down.
Mm-hmm.
But that's unless the college football playoff wants to continue doing home renovations where they're like, let's take out this wall and add in the Florida room. Actually, no, let's add a whole new wing to the house like they're currently doing. We're not going to get 64 anytime soon.
Heard you loud and clear. All right, let's pause right here to say, did you even know that if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to IRA with 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info, claim as of Q1 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. And beyond just that, my friends, we always talk about our friends here at Amazon Fire TV because they have Fire TV channels that will keep you happy and excited all through the night. If you are looking for your favorite sports brand all for free, then Fire TV has the Fire TV channels for you. That includes all of us at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. That's right. You can watch Locked On ACC on your Fire TV. Fire TV channels let you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. All right. If you're a Duke fan, not the greatest. Not the time. I'm sorry for you. Hate it had to be you. Dang, NC State cardiac pack did what they had to do to get by, period. I love to see it. I was rooting for the pack because I would always root for the higher seeded team to go ahead and do that underdog story. And that's exactly what NC State did.
Are you sure that's the only reason you were rooting for the pack? I feel like as a North Carolina grad, there may be another reason that you were rooting for a team that was playing Duke, but that's neither here nor there.
What would be my other reason?
Well, that's like y'all biggest rival when it comes to basketball. Y'all like hate each other's guts. It's like,
but according to Roy, we hate NC State more. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, Roy can see me outside. Roy,
right.
He can see me outside. That's neither here nor there.
A 70-year-old man, that's crazy. Go ahead.
Hey, if Ryan Day can call out Lou Holtz, I'm on your head, Roy. I'm on your head. But, Mo Diarra and what he's done in this game, what he did in this game and what he's done in this tournament is absolutely insane. And when you put that in the context of the fact that he is practicing Ramadan right now, the young man is doing all of this while not eating until sundown. My Lord, he is showing up and showing out, doing a little bit of everything, another double-double, 14 and 16. And let me tell you this. As dramatic as Kyle Filipowski is, he got his. He did his thing. It was not Kyle's fault. However, I'm looking at you, Jeremy Roach. Brother, they were looking for you. They were calling for you. They were screaming for you. They were screaming. Somebody check that DJ Horn.
But you know what? I hate to cut you off because I listened to Jeremy Roach's press conference. And Jeremy said, our sights are bigger. Our sights are set for more than just ACC tournament. Now, it's funny because We heard that from Kyle Filipowski on senior night when they got beat by Carolina. It's like, our sights are on bigger. We want to win the tournament, like all these things. So like y'all sights keep looking too far ahead and not on what is. And I think that's I don't know what's getting in the way. I put up a tweet and I was like, so are you ready to talk about John Shire or nah? Because in my mind, there's something about your team that has not been up and ready to play. Y'all acting like y'all Duke and it's just supposed to happen, as if these teams don't see, like I feel like Carolina had a problem with. You have Duke on the front of your jersey. People already are going to try and play up for you. You have to come with it. You have to have this expectation of you are the target forever just because of where you went and where you attend school. They don't play like that. They do not play hungry. They play dirty, which, okay. But play hungry? Nah, I haven't really seen the Blue Devils do that. I'm sorry. Maybe Jared McCain. That's it.
At what point, where are your sights actually set?
Right.
Where are your sights? So your sights aren't set on, winning a regular season championship. Okay, cool. So your sights aren't set on winning an ACC championship. Okay, cool. So if you lose in the NCAA tournament, where do your sights go then, right? Well, our sights are so much bigger. We're all going to be pros, Yeah, okay. A lot of y'all are,
Jeremy, you going to Argentina, Buki. Jared, you should leave. This is your yearly. I would not come back. Actually, I would come back for Cooper Flag and that other young man. I think I would come back. But Kyle is not your ticket, Buki. He is not your ticket.
But like I very genuinely just, their backcourt was very underwhelming in this game.
Mid.
And that's
Tyrese Proctor, what are you throwing up, boo? What is that?
Yeah, it was a game in which and the other part about this is credit to NC State. They did a lot of things well to put themselves in position to win this game. They missed how many open threes? How many moments NC State fans were holding their breath all the way through because it was like, he's open again. Another player's open on the perimeter. Oh, God, what's happening?
Beyond that, Kenton, NC State could not make a free throw down the stretch to save their life. They were handing you the game on the boy held the rim on a dunk. Come on now. Yeah. That was your ticket to say, you know what, NC State going NC State. They're always going to be who they are. And like, come on, what are we doing here? I'm just saying. It was giving typical NC State. But I was like, Middlebrook, now you're not that pretty. Come on now, baby. You can't hang on every. Like, it was just like, one of those you hopefully get back. I'm glad he's able to play through it. He has another game to get it back. But it was just like, damn, they are going to lose this game, aren't they? And damn it, if Duke didn't try, but good for NC State for making some offense, create some offense when at times they have struggled doing that.
Yeah, and to quote DJ Burns from his post-game press conference when asked, where was this all year? He said, I don't know, but I'm glad it's here now. And that's how all of Wolfpack Nation is feeling. They don't know where this was, but they're glad it's there now. And
are they playing for their coach?
One could say that. And I'll tell you this much. You better be firing on all cylinders in this here ACC tournament because the way that Virginia has turned it on late, if you are not ready, that Virginia team has found out how to put it in the basket. What? A Tony Bennett team that can put it in the basket can kill anybody. They're dangerous. That's a squad. North Carolina on the other side of the bracket. I'll tell you what, them Tar Heels, the way they put it on Florida State, I said, Coach Ham, they laying it on you thick. It's about time, brother. It's about time. You know what I mean? Like,
it had me questioning whether or not Lenny Hamilton was the guy still. And I love him down. But I said, you know what, Mr. Hamilton, it might be time to sit down somewhere. I don't know. Because that was embarrassing. But even Pitt, you got Ish Leggett's dad in the building. So, he's going to get about 30. That's always how it is. And I just feel like they've been playing. They're always a hungry team. So I think Pitt definitely wants them to get back as they're getting ready to kick off playing North Carolina right now. But it's like everybody here has a story and a testimony. Who's hungriest is really what it comes down to.
And Capel and them, that background is that Duke background. So there would be nothing better than if their boys are out. If the guys if the horse that they rode their coach and coattails in on is out, they would love nothing better than to put out the Tar Heels. They would love nothing better than to do that.
1,000%.
It's going to be a tall task because I'll tell you what, that team is firing on every cylinder. I mean, those pistons are lubed up in every single that engine rolling. Okay?
You're done with your analogies today. I just need you to know that. Seth Trimble looking like JP Tokoto is like,
did we not understand pistons in the engine? Did we not?
It's a lot going on. The lube, all of that is too much. It's too much for me. Thank you.
That's what oil does. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. Go ahead.
I'm just a girl. I think that ultimately NC State, here we go. North Carolina's ability to have their bench get busy is why we're sitting here, right? Like
Yeah.
it hasn't necessarily been the stars that have overtaken games or needed to. And like that's what makes good championship tournament teams. Elliot Cadeau's finally coming on offensively. Like it's getting scary hours. And I'm excited. Do I want them to win the whole thing? Of course. But when they lose, do they get hungrier, even hungrier for the next set? Yes. So
So they got bigger eyes. Their eyes are on bigger things.
I hope their eyes aren't too big for their belly. I hope that they stay locked in and focused. I hope they complete the whole gambit, the regular season, the tournament, and the national championship. That's never happened. So that would be great to see. But, you know, I just a little too big for my britches there. It's giving that.
I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, when you eat that big meal, you got to let your pants loose a little bit. That's where you're at right now. That's where you're at.
Dang, that's what I did to my jeans earlier. All right, this week's March Madness bracket is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it further than the rest, just like any of all, there it is, new 2024 Nissan SUVs. These guys were able to help take it to the next level. The Utah State Aggies are obviously the next week's Nissan Rogue. The team absolutely surprised us with all the powerful performance against New Mexico, giving them their first outright Mountain West title in program history. They say, win life, go Rogue, and that's exactly what the Aggies have done here. Take the Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. All right, Ken, we'll end it with this, right? Tournament expectations, 4 left. You got Pitt, you got North Carolina, you got NC State, and you've got Virginia. Of the 4 who have a lot to prove, who are you going with?
Don't make me say this on air. Don't make me say this in public, okay?
It's on record.
If the Martians had the death beam pointed at Earth and I had to pick a team and I had to say, all right, who's going to win this thing outright? Obviously, the Dirty Foot Club are the favorites here for a reason.
Why are she back in the pack? That's kind of corny. Like, ride or die. They are clearly locked in. They are moated. Like, you know,
they are strapped in. They are. Yeah. They're very strapped in. But I'm a firm believer in the law of averages, and I believe that, you know, you can have a run. You can have a hot 2, 3, 4 games where to string together 5 is a very different thing. That's especially 5 in 6 or 7 days or so. Like
AAU lifestyle. Come on, AAU. Where you at? Come find it. Come find it.
And listen. I'll tell you this much: it would be the most NC State thing ever to 100%. End a 30-year conference championship drought with a team that everybody knew coming into the tournament that coach is gone. It will be the most NC State thing in the history of NC State. More NC State than NC State's band playing Old McDonald after every win. More NC State than the fact that a pig farmer is their biggest booster and donor. Shout out to Wendell Murphy. You know, we love you, baby. But this would be the most NC State thing in sporting history. However, I have got to go with the Tar Heels because, again, I don't think that UVA can put the ball in the basket well enough. Pitt, with all due respect, if they were coming in on the other side of the bracket where they had to take on NC State, then they could take on North Carolina in the final. I potentially see something different there, but they're running into a buzzsaw that is rolling. I mean, UNC is cutting through the ACC like a hot knife through butter right now. And so this is a moment where, again, NC State would be the best story out the bunch. Absolutely. Because we talk about bid stealers. We talked about it constantly. And you know, NC State is the only team left. Well, some people are saying Pitt also is on the outside looking in, so they could potentially be a bid stealer. But we know for a fact, you know, we were looking at this thing coming into the tournament like, is NC State going to make the NIT? So they still in the bid for sure. And so that would be the best story of the bunch. But obviously, the team that I'm riding with in terms of, again, if somebody said your mama's life is counting on this, and you know her birthday just passed, I love her. I want her to have many more. I'd have to go with UNC.
Honestly, I'm back in the pack. I feel like DJ Burns owes Baycott one. I think Baycott and Burns, it's giving that to me, right? I feel like Casey Morsell is really having one of those moments. I think DJ Horn is having one of those moments. I'm not upset about it. I love Coach Keats, so I'm over here fighting for ice cream, y'all. Like, I just want him to get another year, maybe 10 more years extensions. So someone tweeted, they said UNC won, Duke lost, and Coach Keats is about to give another year. We're 3-0 right now as Tar Heel fans. And I was like, you know what? I don't hate it. I see the vision. I see go Pack. Go Pack.
I just want to let this be known. I have often said this, and I stand by this. In sports that require finesse and gentle touch and all that, hey, UNC, they got NC State every day of the week. But in sports where you got to get physical, where you got to, it's having a soft chin matters. That, my friends, never going to go well for the boys in baby blue. Never, but,
Never is crazy. Never is crazy.
I mean, I'm just saying,
undefeated. All right.
You got to go back. You got to go back to the time where the helmets were soft and they wouldn't let people that look like us play to get UNC having an advantage over NC State football. But that's neither here nor there.
Advantage, or they've definitely popped them in the mouth a couple times. But
no, I'm saying in terms of
the show's over. The show's over. That's why I say nothing nice about NC State. That's why I can't do it, because they see how people take it to the head. And we're done. We're done. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs, we hope you guys have a great and safe weekend. Check us out back here on Monday. Until next time.